You're listening to Ask Holly Hall. This is Holly Hall from AskHollyHall.com. Today we will be talking about anything from astrology, predictions, clairvoyancy. I am a master astrologer of a background education in philosophy and psychology, neurolinguistic programming, past life regression, and I'm also clairvoyant. Sit back and relax and enjoy the episode. Peter Pan. What does that story have to do with moving into 5D, spiritual growth, and us as a humanity? Let's find out. I received this download a couple of days ago that we were in a Peter Pan syndrome, that we were in a state of a Peter Pan cycle. And so I sat with it for a while. Now, if you're not familiar with it, which I'm sure everybody is, or most people are, Peter Pan is a classic tale by J.M. Barrie that revolves around the story of a boy who never grows up and his adventures in the magical world of Neverland and his companions, which include Wendy, John, Michael, Tinkerbell, and the Lost Boys. The story is rich in symbolism and theme, but let's compare it to a 5D reality shifting consciousness, spiritual growth in various ways. So here are 7 key components. Now let's just first talk about Neverland as a symbol for higher dimensions. See, in Peter Pan, Neverland is a fantastical world where time stands still and inhabitants, they never age. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But this can be seen as a representation of higher dimensions, such as the 5th dimension or 5D reality, where time and space function differently. In the context of spiritual growth, this can be interpreted as the pursuit of a higher state of consciousness that transcends the limitations of the physical world. You see, 5D isn't a location that's outside of you. It's not like you're going to step out of this reality and into another unfamiliar reality. 5D is a state of mind. It's a state of perspective and a state of your own subjective personal reality. And then there's 2, Peter Pan. Peter Pan, as I see it, is the ego. It's the inner child. It's all of us. We all have ego and we all have inner child. And when we are faced with what I call the shadow side, which is Captain Hook and the Lost Boys, right? Captain Hook and the Lost Boys is the controlled environment that's forcing us to face the harsh realities. So let's get back to Peter Pan, his refusal to grow up. It can be a symbol of the ego or the inner child, which resists change and clings to a youthful, self-centered state. Self-survival, self-preservation. Ego is good for us in that way. It can protect us. In the context of spiritual growth, individuals often need to let go of their ego-driven desires and attachment to progress on their spiritual journey. So the spiritual journey, or the awakened self, or your eyes wide open, as in my book 101 Answers from the Universe, you can get on Amazon, there's a place where we can have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And as we get an awareness of what is truly outside of our realm. So for instance, imagine that you need glasses, but you don't know it. And everything at a distance is blurry, but you can see everything about 4, 5, 6 feet in front of you. And that's enough for you to get around. And let's say even 10 feet. So you could still drive. But you can't see much past that. What you do see is it's detectable but blurry. And that's the way your world is. You don't think of anything else but that. And then suddenly you realize somebody tells you, you need glasses. And you put these glasses on, and now you can see at quite a distance. And now you're seeing things that maybe you don't want to see. Maybe things that are scaring you more. So suddenly you're driving and you're seeing cars turning left and right and moving forward, and you're not familiar with this, and that at first is very scary because you're not used to that perspective. That's what happens when the ego gets involved with our spiritual growth. And then there's Wendy as the guide. Wendy serves as a nurturing and guiding figure for the lost boys in Neverland. Similarly, in spiritual growth and consciousness exploration, individuals often have mentors or guides who help them navigate the familiar terrain of explained consciousness, which is what I do with my clients, utilizing my background education in many modalities, including astrology and life coach. But it could be a good friend. It could be a family member. It can be a group you belong to online. Who is your Wendy? Who is your guide? Now then there's Tinkerbell. She's a cross between blind, awkward, fun, mischievous Faith and a little bit mean, a little bit angry, a little bit, I'm not putting up with your BS. So Tinkerbell's belief in fairies and her ability to heal through the power of positive thought is reminiscent of the importance of belief and intention in the spiritual growth and the manifestation of realities in the 5D context. It emphasizes the role of positive mindset in shaping one's reality, but it also represents the role of don't be perfect. If things upset you or frustrate you or make you mad, you need to be authentic. You need to share that side of you that gets ticked off. Because if it doesn't come out, well, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong, if it doesn't come out, it's not going to reshape itself into where it's meant to go. It's going to stay in and it's going to fester. So Tinkerbell's cantankerous ways is a reminder that it's okay to get flustered, frustrated, and it's perfectly authentic and more than okay to share that for people to see who you really are and watch your change and your growth. The Shadow and Captain Hook. Now, Captain Hook is a pirate. He can be seen as representing the shadow side, the negative aspect of one's psyche, but he can also be seen as your inner demons that are affected by the outer demons of the world that is affecting your spiritual growth. So your outer demons for everyone will be subjective, will be very different. It may be your government, education system, healthcare system, COVID in the last 3 years. It could be your boss, your husband, your family dynamic, your best friend. Everybody who tries to stop you in your path. It's a good idea to find liberation through observing what your shadow side is. What is you? Who is your Captain Hook? Who are your Captain Hook that trigger your inner demons? Now, flight as liberation. That's number 6. Now, flight, particular Peter Pan's ability to fly, can symbolize the idea of liberation and the ability to rise above earthly limitations. In the context of 5D reality shifting and spiritual growth, this can be compared to the concept of ascending to higher states of consciousness or breaking free from constraints of the physical world or your inner demons and shadow side. But where are you flying to? What liberation are you seeking? What limitations are holding you back? And number 7, returning to the real world. Now in this story, Wendy and her brothers ultimately choose to return to the real world. Now, this can be interpreted as a reminder that spiritual growth and 5D reality exploration are not about escaping the physical world entirely, but about gaining wisdom and insight to enrich one's life in the here and now. And if you're a healer and you've come here to shift and support shifting everyone's reality, then once you've enriched your life, you are to share it in the smallest or grandest ways. So in summary, Peter Pan can be seen as a metaphorical tale that touches on themes relevant to 5D reality shifting, consciousness expansion, spiritual growth. It highlights a journey from ego-centered existence to a more enlightened state, the role of mentors and guides, the power of belief and intention, and the transformation of self through facing inner challenges. I'd love your comments on how this relates or resonates with you. It might be something you want to listen to again and write down some notes, answer some of the questions, and begin your flight to liberation. Discover your inner Tinkerbell, your inner Wendy as a guide. Shake hands with Peter Pan as the ego, and discover and rediscover the higher dimensions of Neverland. Namaste.